There's a moment that changes everything. Not a crash, not a storm, just the quiet realization that the ground beneath you has shifted on. You didn't even feel it move. Your parents told you, work hard, stay honest, and life will reward you. You believed them. You did everything they said. You showed up. You sacrificed. You played by every rule. And somewhere along the way, without announcement, without apology, the promise died. Not in your hands, in theirs. This is the story of how America made a promise to its people, and then, in the silence of policy meetings and boardrooms and legislative halls, broke it, not with a bang, with a whisper. The age of confidence. In the decades after World War II, the United States entered what economists now call an anomaly. Wages rose alongside productivity. Housing costs remained tied to local incomes. Healthcare existed, but did not dominate household budgets. Education was expensive, but not life-altering debt. According to historical labor data from the late 1940s through the early 1970s, American worker productivity and wages grew together. If the economy grew, families felt it. This wasn't utopia, it wasn't equal, but it was stable. A factory worker could support a family, a teacher could buy a home, a single income could build a life. This is the America many older viewers remember not because it was perfect, but because it was predictable. And predictability is the foundation of dignity, but it was stable. The first cracks, the promise didn't collapse all at once. It weakened gradually, so gradually that most people didn't notice. In the 1970s, productivity kept rising. Wages didn't. Economic research shows a clear divergence beginning around 1973. American workers continued producing more value, but that value stopped flowing back to them. Instead, it concentrated upward. At first, the effects were subtle. Smaller raises, less job security, more reliance on overtime. Then came globalization, financial deregulation, and the slow dismantling of labor protections. Jobs didn't disappear immediately. They became fragile. And fragility is invisible till it isn't. The debt substitution as wages stalled. Something else filled the gap. Debt. When incomes stopped keeping up with living costs, America didn't lower expectations. It financed them. Credit cards, auto loans, student debt, later medical debt, household debt as a percentage of income surged from the 1980s onward. This wasn't accidental. Policy choices made borrowing easier than bargaining. Credit replaced collective power. Instead of higher wages, Americans were offered monthly payments. Debt didn't feel like a trap at first. It felt like progress, until it wasn't. Housing. From shelter to speculation, few things reveal the broken promise more clearly than housing. For much of the 20th century, home prices rose roughly in line with incomes. That relationship no longer exists. By 2024, housing affordability in the United States reached its worst levels on record, according to data from the Federal Reserve and Housing Research Institutes. The shift was structural. Homes became investment vehicles. Zoning restricted supply. Institutional capital entered residential markets. The result? Millions of Americans work full-time jobs and still cannot afford to live where they work, not because they failed, because the rules changed. Healthcare. The quiet bankruptcy machine ***. Healthcare was once a service. Now it is one of the leading causes of financial collapse in the United States. Recent studies show that medical debt affects tens of millions of Americans, including those with insurance. Insurance no longer guarantees protection. It negotiates damage. People delay care, skip prescriptions, avoid ambulances, not because they don't value health, but because survival now has a price tag. This is not a moral failure. It is a system failure. Retirement, the vanishing finish line, the promise, didn't end with work. It extended to rest. Previous generations retired with pensions, predictable income, time that belonged to them. Today, retirement is uncertain. Defined benefit pensions have largely disappeared. 401ks shifted risk from institutions to individuals. Market volatility determines dignity. According to recent retirement studies, a significant portion of Americans over 55 fear they will never fully retire. Not because they want to work forever, because they may have to. Emotional reality here is what the data doesn't fully capture: the exhaustion, the quiet anxiety, the sense that effort no longer guarantees progress. People don't say the promise is broken at dinner tables. They say things like, "It shouldn't be this hard. I did everything right. I don't understand what changed." What changed was not their character. It was the system beneath them. The silence, perhaps the most dangerous part of this story, is how quietly it happened. No single collapse, no dramatic moment, just a slow normalization of insecurity. Higher rents, higher premiums, longer working lives, shorter futures. The promise didn't explode, it eroded. Where America stands now, by 2025, the American economy is strong on paper. Markets grow, GDP rises, technology advances, and yet millions feel trapped. Two realities exist at once. One America accumulates wealth, the other struggles to stay afloat. This is not a mystery, it is an outcome. The question ahead, the most dangerous myth, is that this is inevitable. It isn't. Every condition described here is the result of decisions, political, economic, and cultural. Promises are not broken by accident. They are abandoned. The question facing America is not whether the old promise can return unchanged. It can't. The question is whether a new one will be made, and whether this time it will be kept. Closing reflection: America didn't fail because its people stopped working. It failed because the rules stopped rewarding work. The promise was never perfection, it was fairness. And fairness is not nostalgia. It is a choice.